Welcome back to our special edition of Inside Bengaluru. We are speaking to the doyen of the Indian IT sector and the man who put Bangalore on the global map, Mr. Narayana Murthy. Okay, Mr. Narayana Murthy, you raised this angst when you were delivering the convocation address at IISc that India is not innovating at all. I mean, even the word innovating enough is not the right phrase. That innovation is seriously lacking. You pointed out that the country is so poor that there are opportunities galore. Is not that itself the drag? After all, elsewhere governments are funding research. Here we don't have the money for research.
No, let me first of all distinguish between what I said and what I said. I didn't say innovation, I said invention.
Okay.
You know the difference between the two. You see, Indian Institute of Science is #1 higher education and research place in science and engineering in the country. There is no doubt about it. Whether you look at the number of PhDs, whether you look at citation, the quality of papers produced, by all counts, it is the #1 institute. Therefore, when #1 institute in education and research in India invited me to deliver the convocation address, I took it seriously. I started preparing, and a couple of months ago I was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I got a booklet called 101 Gift of Ideas from MIT. And I found that MIT had contributed earth-shaking inventions that made the life of common man better. For example, email by Ray Tomlinson, text-to-speech recognition, Viterbi algorithms without which you wouldn't be able to use your mobile phone, then RSA encryption without which banking transactions will not be safe, GPS, etc., etc., and microchip, all of that. So then I said, look, why can't our institution, which is #1 in India, also be like that? So therefore,
but doesn't that require money, sir? I mean, they all get billions.
Let me. Therefore, when I spoke to the students, I said all the encouraging words, and then I said, the reality is that we have not been able to bring one stunning, earth-shaking invention that everybody in the globe uses, or that impacts everybody in the globe.
The application industry, innovation or inventions also come from industry, and IT industry was admirably placed in terms of already being globally ahead of the curve in the 90s and creating enough capital for itself to invest in itself. Do you think it's losing the race, or do you think it will catch up? It's only a question of investing.
I don't think the IT industry is losing the race. There are new areas, Internet of Things I talked about the big data,
digital social media.
Well, connecting social media with corporations, they're all big opportunities, and the opportunities for application development and maintenance will continue. And there are a lot of smart things you can do to improve productivity. Therefore, automation is another area which is receiving the attention of all these companies. They're all working on it. You have seen TCS has come out with something stunning. Infosys is working on, Wipro is working on. So all these companies are doing.
It's only
but they're not going to announce because they all want it as a competitive advantage, right? So therefore, while you and I may not know what is happening inside, I have no doubt at all that TCS, which is the largest company today in India with a stellar record, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, they're all working. They have good R&D departments. They're all working.
You don't fear that, for instance, artificial intelligence. That's one area TCS spoke about. You don't fear that today if global corporations want to give out a project, India will not be in the pecking order. It would be first somebody else, and then, we would get the lower billed projects. You don't think we're losing the race in that, are we?
No, I don't think so. As long as we remain relevant to customers, as long as we provide business value leverage to our customers, as long as we assimilate leading edge technologies well and know how to apply it for the benefit of the customer, as long as we are working on optimizing our productivity, as long as we are working on developing tools that help us to bring to the table new ideas in software engineering, I think we'll be safe.
No, I know you will not want to talk about Infosys. Let me take only non-Infosys examples. You look at TCS. For the past 3 years, the volume of sales, dollar revenues has been slowing. For the past 3 years, margins have been slowing. Obviously, people are in investment mode. Mindtree told us the same thing after their results. Gartner says the same thing. They seem to be saying that the industry has lost its elan. You think it is only a matter of time that they will reinvent?
You know, I know Mr. Chandrasekharan very well. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of admiration for him. So, without knowing details into what he has said or what Mindtree has said, I don't want to comment on it. But all that I know is that this industry has a lot of smart leaders. They know what to do, and to grow even at 15% at those levels is not easy. I mean, you have to compare it with other global corporations. So, I personally think that the IT industry has been doing reasonably well, and we should encourage them, and we should cheer them and say, you know, and give them whatever support we can.
No, I agree. You know, I look more at macroeconomics, and for us, it was for students of macroeconomics, it was a big thing that India didn't have to look back at another 1991 balance of payments crisis, because the IT industry from then on has made us, you know, comfortable on that angle. But now when you start seeing margins dip, you know, year after year, and volume of growth, speed of growth dip year after year, is this no longer a double-digit industry? Is this a single-digit industry? And at some point, it will also hit capital formation and fresh innovation. Should we worry, or you think that this is only a passing phase?
I should not be speaking on these issues, but all that I can say is this, that knowing the leaders, whether it's of TCS or Infosys, you know, whether it's Chandrasekharan or Vishal Sikka or Azim Premji, etc., etc., they are all very, very smart, very experienced people, and I'm sure they will handle their responsibility very well.
Okay.
Therefore, I would rather be at the sidelines, cheering them, supporting them, and so that they can run the marathon even better.
Other big and perhaps laudable project of the Government of India is Skill India. What would your advice be? In a sense, it is related to your larger concern about invention, your larger concern about educational autonomy. Do you think Skill India is progressing in the right direction? What would your advice be to the people who are manning it?
Well, first of all, you know, I congratulate the current government on continuing the two initiatives by Nandan Nilekani in Aadhaar and Mr. Ramadurai in Skills India. Both are excellent professionals, and they have contributed immensely. So coming to Skill India, I think it's a great initiative. It is doing a pretty good job, but let's remember that it is a daunting task. Just as Aadhaar is a daunting task, Skills India is also developing skills for the hundreds of millions of youngsters in India is also a daunting task. Therefore, we have to be patient, we have to encourage them, we have to support them. And the reality of India today is that it is very, very difficult to get any skilled labor. Very difficult. Whether it is a bricklayer, whether it's an electrician, whether it's an auto mechanic, it is very difficult.
No, you can add even sub-editors and videographers to it.
Everywhere. You know, this is the tragedy of India. We say we have 1.2 billion people, but it's so difficult. Therefore, the task of Mr. Ramadurai and team, that should be lauded, that should be supported, and we should have some patience. And they are showing progress. So I'm very, very happy that Mr. Modi's government continued both Aadhaar and Skill India projects, and this is the only way India can provide employment for the large number of youth, and this is the only way that we can build infrastructure. This is the only way that we can make the life of most Indians better.
Sir, we are living in troubled times. Every other day the headlines are being grabbed by a Greece or a China, and every subsequent report of the IMF only tells you that you started the year with an expectation of 3% growth. Oh no, it is something like 2.5%. If you started US growth with 2%, it ends up at 1.8%. Will all this skimmy growth for a long time, would you worry that growth is going to be elusive for a goodish bit?
No, I think as far as the IT industry is concerned, any such happenings in the West in some sense is good for us, because we provide better value for money. So therefore I wouldn't worry about it. But in so far as the country's balance of payments are concerned, I think we have a wonderful governor, we have a wonderful RBI governor, we have a wonderful finance minister. I know we have $350+ billion of foreign exchange reserves. The oil prices are
to our advantage.
To our advantage. So overall, I would not be pessimistic. I would say that the factor conditions are certainly such that we can take some big bold risks as a nation, and this is the time to accelerate, because we have a government with majority. Everybody is excited, and as I said, other factors are all there. Therefore, I would say this is the time to press on the pedal.
Okay, I came expecting to hear some positive things on Bengaluru. You've given me a lot of encouragement that India will do better in the current scheme of things. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure speaking with you.
Wonderful. Thanks.